Okay, so today I'm just going to talk about how to increase your vocabulary. The way I've been doing this is through reading. I'm going to show a couple of ways. So one using the Kindle and the other just reading online. So the way I've been doing it is by sentence mining. This is putting the piece of vocabulary that you're trying to learn in the context of a larger sentence, which makes it a bit easier to understand. So another thing that I'm doing is I'm combining the book that I'm reading on Kindle with the audio book, and that way I get native audio for the whole sentence as opposed to just one singular word. Right, well I guess we'll get into it. Let's go over to my PC.
Okay, so this is my setup. It looks a bit messy, so I'm going to explain it really quickly. So obviously the main thing I use is Anki. If you don't know about Anki, it's a spaced repetition. It's what I use to help keep track of what I'm studying. But I'm also using the MIA dictionary support add-on and the Japanese support plugin, also the MIA version. Okay, so if you haven't seen the MIA support plugin, basically it adds floating pitch accent for words and also native audio for ones that come up.
Kusaki.
The dictionary is obviously, well, it's what it says. It's a dictionary, so you can just hover over a word, search it, and you should get the definition really quickly. This window is obviously where I add sentences in, and this window is really important for people who are using a Kindle. So you can just come here and upload your My Clippings file, and that gives you access to all the sentences that you've saved on your Kindle. Okay, so basically I will just read until I come across a word. So, okay, get to about here, and there's this word. Okay, that makes sense. So now I'll just highlight it. And then that's saved, and then I can make a card out of that later. Okay, so now I've loaded up the clippings file into this site. So I just look for the sentence. It's the most recent one, so it's going to be right near the bottom. Okay, here it is. So I just copy and paste that into the expression field. This was the word I didn't know, so I'm just going to look up the definition of that. Okay, so here's the definition I'm going to go with. Boom. If you're still doing the bilingual cards, you can find the English further down. I'm somewhere in the bilingual transition, so I'm avoiding the English. Last one, so we can use this button here or the hotkey to get the audio. So if we just listen to the audio quickly.
Hisoka. Hisoka. Hisoka.
Okay, so I'm not actually going to use that because I'm doing it slightly differently. So I'm going into the browser, searching the sentence, and I get this. So I get the subtitle file for the audiobook version. So I'm basically going to record the second half of this sentence and use that on its own.
おばあさんが決して近づかせなかったからで、ハリーも密かにおばあさんが正しいと思った。
Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste that into here.
ハリーも密かにおばあさんが正しいと思った。
Cool. So the last thing I'm going to do is this one or the hotkey, and that will just produce all the pitch accent for all of the words. So if we just look at the card and we preview it, we see that we get just the plain on the front. Obviously you can hover over it to get pitch accent, and on the back it's going to have the audio.
ハリーも密かにおばあさんが正しいと思った。
And the definition also with the floating pitch accent charts. So basically this is how I make all my cards. I aim for about 20 a day, and I just keep going. Okay, so for people that don't have a Kindle or just want to do it slightly differently, the other way you can do it is just by reading online. I recommend this site as a good place to start because it also comes with the audio track for what you're reading. So I'll just be reading along, and okay, say I don't know this word here, I'll just copy and paste the sentence. So where was it? It was this one. Search the definition. Okay, this one makes sense. And I'll just add that in. Obviously, we can do the same as normal. We can add in the sound. In this case, it's not come up with the right one, but luckily over here we actually have the native audio reading it.
と、そのまま曲がった鉄砲を持って漁に出かけました。
So we can drop that in here.
そのまま曲がった鉄砲を持って漁に出かけました。
And then, same as normal, just here, and then we can get all the things, all of the pitch accent. Okay, so here it's come up with a slight mistake, and so we're just gonna write in the right. Here we go now. Okay, it is a tamadaka, so that makes sense. Okay. So again, if we preview the card, we get the sentence raw, and then obviously we can flow over it to get all of the pitch accent, but when we go on the back it'll have the audio and the definition.
そのまま曲がった鉄砲を持って漁に出かけました。
And again with the floating pitch accents.
Okay, so that's how I make my cards. That's how I've been centiming for the past few months. Like I said, I've been trying to do 20 a day. Some people that might be too many. For some people they may be able to do more. I think anywhere probably between 10 and 30 is probably a good number. Even if you're only doing 10, that's still 300 new pieces of vocab a month, as opposed to doing something like Genki, where you may only get 300 pieces of vocab for the whole book. So I think this is better than going for a textbook, because this way all the vocabulary that you're learning is something that comes up in something you're actually interested in, and it's not just arbitrary, it's something you need to understand what you're trying to understand. I'll put a link to the website and maybe a couple other videos that explain similar things. This is just my way of doing it. Some people have different ways, so it's good to look around and find one that suits you. This has been working for me. I'm going to continue doing it this way, at least for a while now. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. I shall see you next time.